Today I'm going to talk a lot about softball. So if you're not interested, actually I challenge you to sit through this because you should be interested. We're at the beginning of an era. We're about to see softball completely break through a glass ceiling. For years, it's been around college level, travel ball, professional leagues, but it's not gotten the attention that it deserves, not nearly. And now we are at a pivotal moment where NIL is popping off. College softball viewership is crazy. The Texas National Championship Series and the College World Series, insane. You're seeing some of the most talented athletes on the biggest stage in college. Tegan Cavan, Nijaree Canady, there's a whole slew of them. And the numbers are proving that. Shout out Texas. I called that one if you watched my last video. Texas in 3. Anyway, and then with the AUSL, the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, and what that's about to do for the game. So I'm going to break it down. I've got data. I actually have a whole article if you're interested in reading about it. Maybe videos aren't your thing. It's on my website, alonzosports.com. Okay. Why am I saying that now is the time? We've watched college women's basketball pop off. I'm in Baton Rouge, so LSU breeding ground, right? Leading NIL. Women's sports are taking off, and I'm going to specifically talk about college because, again, in Baton Rouge, I'm watching Angel Reese, Flau'jae Johnson, Kim Mulkey completely change the landscape of women's college basketball. You've got Livy Dunn, gymnast at LSU, who drew eyes to college gymnastics solely because of her social media presence, broke barriers in NIL, and you're gaining fans because of that. Softball is next. In the College World Series that I just talked about, right? Just happened in Oklahoma City. The viewership, record-breaking. Pre-finals games averaged 1.1 million viewers, which is a 25% increase year over year. It broke the record for ESPN's most watched pre-finals softball game. One of the games specifically, UCLA in Tennessee, peaked at 3.9 million viewers. That is another record. 3.9 million eyes were on that one game. The series, the championship series between Texas Tech and Texas, drew 2.1 million viewers in Game 1, also setting a record for the most watched Women's College World Series Game 1 ever. And Game 2 drew 2.8 million viewers. So if you don't believe me, the numbers are not lying. Records are being broken left and right. Viewership is up. Now, switch over to NIL. Why is viewership up? Well, part of it is because of the women playing the sport. Nijaree Canady. Please go look at her numbers. They are crazy. She was at Stanford. She transferred to Texas Tech. She's had a sub-1 ERA freshman, sophomore, and now junior year at Texas Tech. She was also the first college softball player to rack up $1 million NIL deal at Tech. Not to mention, she just went back-to-back and signed another $1 million NIL deal to keep her at Texas Tech. The impact she had on that team, and by no means am I saying that she is the only person on that team that deserves her flowers, but it is a fact that she is making history. That has not been done before. The strikeout numbers, the innings she pitched all 3 games in the National Championship Series. Mind you, she pitched every single inning in Super Regionals and in the College World Series. What? If you're unfamiliar with the workload and the mental strength that you have to do that, it is astronomical. It is insane what she's done for the game alone. Again, transferred over from Stanford to Texas Tech. She finished the 2025 season with a 33-5 record, a .9 ERA, and 317 strikeouts. So much so, y'all, that Patrick Mahomes himself, alum of Texas Tech, was at the games giving her flowers, saying she is a great, a hero, like all kinds. I mean, you have a GOAT in the NFL giving this girl praise, okay? Not only her, but if you want to switch over to the presence that, okay, let me back up. NIL is a lot about your talent on the field, but it's also about the eyes that you get, your personal brand. Jordy Ball, Bree Ellis, Kinsey Hansen, Maya Brady, all softball players who have large followings on social media. People are drawn to athletes who also have some sort of personality, character, brand outside of their sport. Not saying just outside, they show off on the field too, but we're starting to see these developmental pieces in the women playing the sports that, or specifically softball, that are translating to viewership and growing the game, right? And again, I go back to Angel Reese and Livy Dunn. Livy Dunn specifically bringing her social media presence to gymnastics. People who are fans of Livy on social media are now interested in college gymnastics. Angel Reese, or Flage, let's use Flage, rapper, right? She's got a whole rap career at the same time. That's incredible. But fans of Flage are now paying attention to women's college basketball. Same thing is happening a little bit with softball, but we're seeing a huge, huge jump in the fan base. I do want to say this, the college softball fan base has always been super passionate. There's been incredible stories. It just never had the attention that it's getting now. Part of that is what I said, NIL and the personalities and the skill that's getting the spotlight that it deserves now. The other part, if you want to go past college softball, Athletes Unlimited Softball League, inaugural season, the MLB just invested into a professional softball league. That's huge. To have a credible, or the credibility of the MLB backing up a women's softball league, a professional women's softball league, insane. This changes the game for a lot of different reasons. There are only 4 teams. Again, inaugural season, they're getting this thing off the ground, but some of your favorite college softball players are going right over there. Sam Landry, who I've talked about, who was the pitcher for Oklahoma, that's a whole storyline that I'll get into in a few seconds. She's playing in the AUSL. Some of those games will be broadcasted on MLB Network. You want to talk about drawing more eyes to softball in general? MLB Network said, here, we're going to give you a lump sum of money. Do what you're going to do. They do. So here's some numbers for you. They do acquire a 20% stake in the league. And again, it is the first ever financial backing from the MLB of a women's professional softball league. Love to see it. This was a huge announcement. You had former Miami Marlins GM become the first general manager in MLB history and then shift over to Kim Ng softball. So she's got her connections in the MLB and took her expertise, decided I'm going to move over to women's sports, professional softball. You can only imagine that what she's learned, her experience working in professional baseball, is going to translate to softball. We're going to see the investment that this is going to explode the sport. Going back to the attention that it never got. There was always a fan base, but it really just stayed that fan base. It didn't expand. Even you look at the 2004 U.S. Olympic team, Jenny Finch, the icon in softball. I remember being a kid and Jenny Finch was the it girl. That was who everybody wanted to be. But not only her, you're looking at Lisa Fernandez, that whole team, the real dream team, right? The 2004 Olympic softball team, Crystal Bustos, Kat Osterman, Natasha Watley, Jessica Mendoza, who is now an analyst in the MLB, Monica Abbott, all of these names. You had incredible athletes. We just weren't there in the sport to be able to get the exposure that it needed. But they laid the foundation. They fully showed the athleticism within softball, how great of a ball player you could be. But now it's getting the financial funding and the exposure to really, really, really grow the sport. By the way, softball's back in the Olympics, 2028 LA. I mentioned Sam Landry, and what I think one of the most important parts of the sport are the stories. And that's for any sport. You've got human element to these athletes. And we're really seeing media kind of take on telling the stories of these athletes, being more than just athletes, the human side, their hobbies, their backgrounds, what makes them them. And the story that I specifically referenced in this article was Sam Landry, the pitcher from Oklahoma, and Coach Gerry Glasco. So Glasgow was the head coach at Louisiana, had an impressive career over there, really turned that program around. Sam Landry was at ULL. Coach Glasgow's daughter, Gerry Landry, standout player at Oregon, had gotten into the coaching world, college softball coaching world, and unfortunately, so sad, she passed away in a 2019 car accident at just 24. She was a volunteer coach at UL. She was going to join the staff. Sam Landry, being one of the players, spent some time around her, got to know her. When she passed away, because of how close Coach Glasgow and Sam Landry were, Sam decided to wear number 12, which was Gerry Ann's college number, in remembrance of Gerry Ann. When Coach Glasgow took the job at Texas Tech, Sam Landry also decided to transfer. Being a real person, a real one, caring about Landry, he said, hey, I'm encouraging you to go to Oklahoma, because he knew that he was getting Nijaree Canady. He also said, I know that Sam is my ace, and I want her to get the spotlight she deserves. So Sam went to Oklahoma. Coach Glasgow went to Texas Tech, led Texas Tech to the World Series for the first time ever, made it all the way to the national championship. Game 3, they lost it in game 3. They put up a hell of a fight. Great team. He did a great job. Sam Landry, with Oklahoma, faced Coach Glasgow in the semifinals. He pitched against Nijaree Canady. Ironically enough, Texas Tech knocked out Oklahoma. They won the past 4 national championships. This was a huge deal, Glasgow being his first year at Tech. And after the game, or let me go back, she wanted to wear 12 for Gerry Ann at Oklahoma. It was already taken, so she had Gerry Ann's name stitched in her glove. If you literally look at her glove, Gerry Ann is stitched right on the inside of it. After the game, they embraced in a huge hug. It was emotional. But those are the types of stories that softball offers. It is a very close and intimate game. If you grew up playing, it's a very small world. Travel ball is very small, small. Everybody knows each other through one way or another. You're probably 3 connects from the next person. And there are stories like this all over the place. It's an intimate game. It's powerful. And these are the kind of stories that get pulled out when we give the exposure to the sport. And it's growing. That emotional element of sports, the reason I'm so into sports in general are because of the human element. Yes, I love seeing physical talent and records be broken and insane performances. That's fun. But there's also so many moments and lessons and life meaning when you play a game or participate in a fan base, keep up with the sport. There's so much meaning there. That's just one example of stories that are going to be highlighted because of the attention that the sport is getting now. This is a big deal because, and I'll speak from my personal experience, I played it my entire life. Travel ball, fall ball, school ball. I was balancing, pitching lessons. I was not a pitcher. I did not enjoy pitching. I was shortstop, but pitching lessons, hitting lessons, fielding lessons, workouts, agility. It consumed my life. That was my identity. Throughout my high school career, some things happened and I came to the conclusion that I no longer wanted to be recruited because I wanted to focus and really commit myself to a sports media career. In my head, and I will shout my dad out for this, he was like, hey dude, you can play college sports and still do media. It might give you a foot in the door. But I really, really wanted to focus on football. It's now pivoted a little bit to baseball. But I wanted to get reps everywhere I could. I had 3 jobs in college. I was volunteering. I wanted to do that. And the reason being is because I didn't think that there was a viable future for me in softball. Not that I couldn't play college ball, but that I would play college ball and then I would have to start something else, because at the time, professional leagues didn't pay. I mean, there's lots and lots of work to do, but the salary jump of what the AUSL is going to pay their players compared to what the professional league paid at the time when I was deciding whether college ball, it was not viable for me to pursue that as a full-time thing, to become a professional athlete, and that was me. I didn't see past 22, so I decided I'm done competing. I'm just going to go tell the stories. That is completely different now between NIL and now the AUSL. This opens the door for so many young girls to see themselves as the face of a franchise or to become a professional softball player, and that is their job. Again, lots of work to do. The salary numbers aren't quite where we would want them to be, but they're getting there. There is an opportunity now to create, a league has been created where if you're in high school and you were iffy about going to play college ball because after that it's real world, that's no longer. Like, there is a real viable future for softball and professional softball. And I think it fires me up because that's opportunity for so many young girls and women to continue being an athlete. You know, you pick basketball, who has the WNBA, you can go ahead and go to the league. But when you pick softball, you kind of knew at the time, like, after college, I'm probably done. Not anymore. So this was really cool for me to learn about and to dig into, and I wanted to share it because, again, we're gonna see this sport explode. When you have an inaugural season for a professional league, and then you have the Nijaree Canadies of college softball racking in $1 million deals in NIL, it's gonna explode the same way that we watched Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, which that storyline has been drawn in every direction. I'm not even going to get into that today, but what it's done for WNBA viewership, you're going to watch that same thing happen for college softball and professional softball. So, like I said, full article breaking everything down on my website, alonzosports.com. I think I'm going to be talking a little bit more about softball, and I love football and I love baseball, but this one has my heart, and I think it always has, and I didn't know how to help the sport, so to speak, but it's right here, and it's about to absolutely shatter the glass ceiling that it has endured for forever. So that was fun. If you're not into softball, at least you learned something today if you stayed all the way through. I'll be making more content soon. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go follow me on Instagram. Because we're rolling the ball. We're going to see what's next.